Michelle is here with me on Zoom. But if you're watching from the Facebook group, welcome. Thank you so much for being here this evening. So I'm super excited to share with you guys because I know a lot of people struggle with consistency just because of their schedules and different things going on. So if you're watching with me live and you're live on Facebook, say hey, comment #live, let me know that you're with me. But today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the 4 P's of consistency. So there's 4 P's, there's a secret to it. And I also want to share that for everybody that stays all the way up until the end, I am going to be doing a special giveaway. So that's just a little incentive to hopefully, one, add some value through the content, but then also give you a little perk for making it to the end. So, hey, Mary Ann, good to see you. Thank you for being here. So yes, sharing the 4 P's of how to stay consistent with a busy schedule. Again, if you're watching with me live, say hey, let me know that you're here, comment #live, but we'll go ahead and dive into it. So if this is your first time live with me, or if you're watching the replay, hello, my name is Cash. I'm a yoga teacher, nutrition coach, affirmation card creator, weightlifter, and I'm super passionate about helping women over 30 shed the last 15 pounds without giving up their favorite foods, without spending hours doing cardio, by using mindful eating and targeted fat burning workouts. So if this is your first time working with me, welcome. Super glad to have you here. I'm all about connection and getting to know you, getting to know what you need the most help with. So know that this is a safe space. Know that you can share. If I'm involved, there's no judgment. It's a judge-free zone. So please feel free to share anything that comes up for you, any questions that you have. Be real, be open, be honest. And please feel free to take screenshots as we go through the training today. There could be some gems that you might want to hold on to, which is great. I love that. So please feel free to take any screenshots. And if you're watching the replay, please comment and interact as if you're watching live. That is going to be how you get the most out of this training. Again, I like to learn as much as I can about you because that helps me to help you the best. So I have a lot of questions for you guys on this training, which is okay. But please be honest, be open, and let's get into it. So this is an obvious question, but who here struggles with consistency? You can just wave a hand, you can drop a me, whatever you need to say, but who here struggles with consistency? And quick spoiler alert, everybody struggles with consistency. We are all consistent. I see Michelle with the thumbs up. Simone, I see you. Hey, Simone. Simone says, I do because of the knee. Marianne, me. Spoiler alert, we all struggle with consistency. We are all inconsistent with certain things in our life, and we're all consistent with certain things in our life. So really, this training is learning what we are being consistent with, what we're being inconsistent with, and allowing our priorities to match up with the level of consistency that we want to see. So here are the top reasons why most people are inconsistent when it comes to reaching their goal. So 1, they don't believe it's possible. 2, they are trying to do it alone, don't have a support, don't have anybody kind of cheering them on, don't know where to start. 3, haven't formed a habit of it yet. And then 4, don't have a strong enough why. So I love Simone. So Simone said that she's not consistent because of her knee, which I totally get. You know, injuries can be super frustrating when you have a goal that you're working toward. But even though, you know, the knee might be something that gets in the way, there could be something else that you could do that doesn't challenge your knee as much, that gives you a same result. So sometimes it's about changing your perspective, and we'll get into the 4 P's again, but that's just a little kind of sneak peek. So top reasons why people are inconsistent. 1, they don't believe it's possible. They're trying to do it alone. haven't formed a habit of it yet, and they don't have a super strong why to motivate them. So what's one thing that you'd like to walk away with today? One thing that you'd like to walk away with today, let me know in the comments. One thing you'd like to walk away with today, and what's your biggest challenge right now? So what is it that you are inconsistent with that you would like to be more consistent? So maybe it is your fitness, maybe it is your nutrition, maybe it is, staying accountable to your goals, but what's one thing that you want to walk away with today? And what's your biggest challenge right now? I'll give you a few minutes to answer that. So Simone says, alternative exercise or yoga poses. Awesome. Love it, Simone. Let's see, Michelle, she's on Zoom with me. The best way to stay motivated, biggest challenge is diversions. Yes, a client and I were just talking about it yesterday. She was saying like she struggles with consistency because life happens, things come up with not like with life, family issues come up, work gets busy, and different things are thrown into your plate that kind of throw you off your plan. So I totally get that, Michelle, with your biggest challenge being diversions. Marianne, her challenge is needing a knee replacement. Yeah, I hear that. I know Marianne and I worked together for a while, and I know it's like the knee kind of got in the way. So yeah, I hear that. Different ways to exercise, low impact. Awesome. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. All right, so we're going to talk about the 4 P's of consistency. So the 4 P's of consistency: plan. I'm sorry, I said it in the wrong way. Everybody's like, mom brain is a thing, you'll see. And I'm like, no, mom brain is not a thing. And yes, I'm learning the hard way. It very much is a thing. All right, 4 P's of consistency: prioritize, plan, people, and perspective. So feel free to screenshot this, the 4 P's of consistency: prioritize, plan, people, and perspective. So these are kind of some things that, usually keep people from staying consistent. So, and you can just drop it quickly in the comments, but just kind of start to think about what your day-to-day schedule looks like. So do you work from home or drive to work? Work from home or drive to work? If you are somebody that works from home, that comes with its own set of different restrictions. If you're driving to work, that comes with its own set of restrictions, but work from home or drive to work. The next one, set schedule, or is your schedule changing weekly? Set schedule like a 9 to 5, or some days you work 3 to 11, other days you work 6 to 3. Set schedule or schedule changing. Next one, kids, no kids, grandkids, pets, elderly parents, sick relatives. Are you caring for anybody? The next one, what are you trying to stay consistent with? So for this, you can drop A, B, C, or D. So either A for workouts, B for yoga, C for nutrition, or D for all of the above. Let's see. So Simone works from home. Marianne has both, works from home and goes into the office, has a set schedule. You got grandkids. Simone is wanting to stay consistent with yoga. Marianne's trying to stay consistent with all of the above. Michelle drives to work, set schedule, pets, and D, all of the above. And Simone is also D. Yes, awesome. Thank you for sharing, ladies. And so now I want to just take it a step deeper. Why do you need to find a way to stay consistent? So what is your inconsistency keeping you from? Why do you need to find a way to stay consistent? So what's it keeping you from? What is it that you want to achieve? If you were consistent, you'd be able to achieve it. But what is your inconsistency keeping you from? So why do you need to find a way to stay consistent? Simone says good health. Thank you, Simone. Michelle said sleep, family time, me time. Yes, self-care is so important. Danny, hey, Danny. Danny says, of course I'm late because of work. It's okay. We were just talking about crazy schedules. Marianne says healthy. I'm guessing that is because you want to stay healthy and eat better. So this is really linked to your why, because your why is so strongly tied to you figuring out how. Consistency is really all about figuring out how because we all have limitations. We all have certain things that keep us from doing things how we would like to do them. But it's about figuring out how, and knowing out your why gives you a strong enough reason to figure out how you can make it possible. So let's dive into it. So how to stay consistent with a busy schedule, the 4 Ps: prioritize, plan, people, and perspective. All right, so the first one is to prioritize. So prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. So take a moment. If you have your notepad, grab your notepad, or if you like to take notes on your phone, take out the notes app on your phone, but write down the 3 most important things in your life right now. So that could be, your family, your job, your social life. It could be your pets, your kids, and, your hubby. It could be work, sleeping, and recovering. It could be a number of things, but write down the 3 most important things in your life right now, either on pen and paper, if you have a notebook nearby, or if you like to take notes on your phone. Write down the 3 most important things in your life right now. And then the next thing I'd like you to write down is one thing you'd like to accomplish before the end of 2022. So we have about 3-ish. September is basically over, and I'm like, where did September go? Because September totally flew by. Write down one major thing that you'd like to accomplish before the end of 2022. So we have about 3 months left. What's one thing that you'd like to accomplish? One thing, regardless of if you are struggling with knee issues, or if you're needing a knee replacement, or if you have a crazy schedule, or if you're working crazy hours, regardless of whatever might be in your way right now, what is one thing you'd like to accomplish before the end of 2022? So write that in your notebook. And if you would like to share that here in the chat, feel free to share that in the chat as well. All right, Simone says flat tummy before the end of 2022. Yes, I love it. All right, so prioritize. Top 3 things to prioritize. 1, get real. Get real. And when I say get real, I mean get real about what's possible. Get real about your time. Get real about your actual restrictions. Get real about what you can actually do. Like sometimes it's so easy for us to set goals that we may need more time for, or we may have to give up certain things on our plate, but get real about what's possible versus setting a goal that is almost unattainable, and get real about how you're spending your time, which leads me to my second one: stop wasting time. So studies show that the average American watches 4 hours of television each day. 4 hours of television, which that's a lot. That's a lot of time each day that we can be spending on a myriad of other things. And, I'm not one to judge for watching TV because I do feel like balance, right? We have to have some time where we're kind of not doing and not thinking, and it's almost like a time to unwind. But stop wasting time, so much time on the things that don't matter, and prioritize time for what you want to get done. And the last thing is make time for what's important. Make time for what's important. So again, prioritizing, figure out a way. Simone says, but I like trash TV. It's hard, maybe set a timer, tell yourself, especially if it's an hour-long episode, say, I'm going to watch 2 hours today, and then I'm going to do something else for the other 2 hours, because it can kind of just suck you in. I wasn't a big TV watcher, but Marty and I have gotten like super into Law and Order, Law and Order SVU. So I don't know if there's any other Law and Order fans out there, but that is like my show. At the end of my workday, I'm like, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I'm like, I just need to watch an episode or two of Law and Order to unwind. So I get it. Trust me, I get it. Let's see. Oh, okay, Michelle, one thing that she wants to do before the end of the year is actually leave work on time. Yes, I love that. Danny says that's my jam. Yes, I'm hooked. It's bad. I've been having like dreams about Law and Order, like murder dreams. It's like it's getting a little. I had to scale back. I was like, okay, I'm watching too much. All right, so let's keep it going. So prioritize, get real about what's actually possible. Stop wasting time and make time for what's important. So here is my simple trick, the 30-minute rule. 30 minutes. So again, if the average American is watching 4 hours of television each day, not everybody, but the average, which sometimes we all fall into that category, myself included, make 30 minutes each day to devote to your new project or priority. So 30 minutes each day for 30 days straight. So Michelle, for you wanting to leave work early or leave work on time before the end of the year, look at your schedule, look at your plans and say, okay, I'm going to carve out 30 minutes here where I can look at my last hour of my workday and figure out how I can leave work on time. And you may not always leave work right on time every time, but at least you're devoting 30 minutes each day. You're keeping it front of mind, thinking about a way to get out. And then over time, you'll actually be able to get out, whether it's telling your coworker politely, like, I'm sorry, I'm not able to talk to you about that right now. Can we please table this for first thing in the morning? I have to get out and I have to let my dogs out, or I have to get out and I have to do X, Y, and Z, or I don't want to get stuck in traffic, so I have to go. Simone and Mary Ann, I know specifically with y'all are looking for lower impact exercises. Simone looking for lower impact yoga that you can do for your knees. So 30-minute rule, devote 30 minutes each day to figuring out, okay, what are some movements that I can do that don't affect my knees? What are some low impact ways that I can still get the flat stomach that I want, that I can still stay healthy without causing further harm to my knees? And little shout out to my YouTube channel. I do have new YouTube videos uploaded each week, and a lot of them are really good low impact flows, Simone. So if you're wanting to get more consistent with your yoga practice, check out my channel. Small little plug there. Hey, Mark, welcome, welcome. And Mary Ann, likewise for you, there's tons of different activities that you can do that are low impact for your knees that you can stay consistent with. And so Marianne, and I'll definitely send you some, because I actually, like I said, I have a client. Hey, Tracy, if you're watching the replay, but she also has knee pain as well. So the workout that we just did together was super duper low impact. So Mary Ann, I will send that to you, but there's tons of other low impact exercises that you can do that will still help you to stay healthy, still help you to reach your goal without causing further impact. So feel free to screenshot this, but 30-minute rule, and the 30 minutes that you spend each day, sometimes those 30 minutes can just be 30 minutes of research, 30 minutes of figuring out, okay, how can I make this possible? But the whole idea is keeping it front of mind, because we're working to build a habit here. That's ultimately the goal, is to make it a habit and not just something that you're doing till you hit the goal and then you stop, right? So 30-minute rule, devote 30 minutes each day to your new project or priority for 30 days straight. Hey, Trina, I saw that you just joined us. Hey, Mark, welcome, welcome. All right, so the next P, so the 4 Ps of consistency, the first one was prioritize, the next one is plan. So first we got to figure out what's important. We got to figure out what it is that we're trying to be consistent with. We got to figure out what we need to remove from our schedule to make what we're trying to be consistent with possible. Once we figure that out, the next thing is to plan. 4 Ps of consistency. The second P is to plan. So let me know in the comments. You can drop A, B, or C. Do you have a monthly or weekly planning process? Drop an A in the chat for yes. Drop a B in the chat, in the chat for no. Drop a C in the chat for kinda. Do you have a monthly or weekly planning process? A in the chat, yes. B in the chat, no. C in the chat, kinda. Michelle, yes, you do have a planning process. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so if you are looking to upgrade your planning process, or if you already have a planning process, this is really kind of how you can plan for anything. So 1, what are the steps involved? So thinking about the one thing that you want to accomplish. So we all wrote this down. The one thing that you want to accomplish before the end of 2022. What are the steps involved? So Michelle wants to leave work on time. What are the steps involved in leaving work on time? What needs to happen in order for you to get out of the door on time? Simone wants a flat stomach. What are the steps involved? What steps do you need to check off your list in order for that to happen? Marianne said that she wants to be healthy, lose 10 pounds. So what are the steps involved? You have to know what the steps are involved, and literally write out those steps. It could be step 1 is to, for the lose 10 pounds, step 1, figure out a nutrition plan. Step 2, figure out what days I'm going to work out. Step 3, figure out what days I'm going to check in with myself to make sure I'm accountable. 2, when will you do it? When will you do it? I think for me, for a long time, I used to make plans and I would have all these checklists and to-do lists, but I never wrote down when I was going to do it and how long I was going to spend doing it. And that's huge. You have to know when you're actually going to accomplish these things. Having the list is great. Planning is great. But if you don't have a time set aside for when you're actually going to do it, how long you're going to spend doing it, it kind of just goes off into the wind, making it that much harder for you to be consistent. So write down the steps, whether it's 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps, and then next to each step, I want you to write down the date. If it's look for a plan to follow. Okay, I'm going to look for a plan on Saturday, September 23rd, and I'm going to spend 45 minutes doing it. Working out 3 times a week. All right. My workout days will be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and I'm going to work out for 30 minutes, 3 days a week. And go down the line for each step involved, when you're going to do it, how long you're going to spend doing it. And then the next question is it on the calendar? Is it on your calendar? So this is so important. Do you have it written down? Is there a reminder set to remind you, hey, this is what you need to do. This is in your face. And all these things are mental reminders to keep your priority front of mind. So even if you have a crazy schedule, even if family priorities come up, even if other issues come up that are unexpected, Even if other issues come up that are unexpected, it's still front of mind. Maybe you might have to move it somewhere else on your calendar. That's fine. But you need to have it when you're going to do it, how long you're going to spend doing it, and put it on your calendar. Whether you have a paper calendar or you keep your calendar in your phone, have it down and have a set schedule for it. So how to plan for anything. One, write down the steps, write down when you're going to do it, how long you'll spend doing it, and then put it on your calendar. All right, so just a quick refresh, 4 P's of consistency. The first one is prioritize. What is it that you want to be consistent with? The second one is to plan. Write out a plan for how you're going to make it happen. Third P is for people, because we're all human. And it's so easy for us to fall off. You know, I think the quote goes, the lone wolf dies, but the tribe survives, right? So you can do things on your own. It's possible to accomplish things alone, but realistically, it's so much easier and it's so much more fulfilling to have a system of accountability, to surround yourself with people who can encourage you through what you're trying to accomplish. So yes or no, you can drop in the chat. Do you have a support system? Do you already have a support system in place? Yes or no? And it's okay if the answer is no. It is okay. Michelle says yes. Good. I love that. Yes, yes, yes. And so here's a little bit of research. You guys don't have to feel obligated to read this whole thing, but I just kind of want to show you why working in a group is so important. So a 2016 study published in the Journal of Obesity found that overweight people tend to lose more weight if they spend time with their fit friends. The more time they spent together, the more weight they lost. 90% of those who started a weight loss program with friends completed the program versus 76% completion rate for those who tackled the program alone. The friend group was also 42% more likely to maintain their weight loss. This is huge. So close to 100% of people who did the weight loss program with their friends actually saw it through, compared to 76% who did it on their own, which is to show you, you can still do it if you're doing it by yourself, but you want to make it as easy as possible. You want to remove as many barriers as possible. So this is just showing you why it's so important to have your support system. Your support system can be your family, you know, people in your home, letting them know, hey, this is my goal. Michelle wants to leave work on time. She can let her husband know, hey, you know, I need to leave work every single day on time at 3 o'clock. I need you to text me at 2:45 and say, hey, wrap up what you're doing. It's time to go. As simple as that. Mary wants to lose 10 pounds, Marianne, excuse me, wants to lose 10 pounds before the end of the year. You know, she can tell her husband at home or her family members at home, hey, I have this goal. Can you please help me out? You know, if you're going to eat unhealthy, that's fine, but I need you to keep it out of the house, because if I see it, it's going to be a temptation for me. Simone, you know, with what she has going on with her knee, you know, she wants to be able to still move and do yoga with what she has going on with her knee. She can reach out like, hey, you know, Cash, I'm needing some low impact yoga moves for my knee. What can you help me do? So tapping into your support system, tapping into the people around you as an added layer of accountability to help you stay consistent. So people, share with your family and coworkers. Let people know. So once you've prioritized, once you've wrote out your plan, let people know. The power of accountability is so real. It's so real. Shout it from the mountaintops. Let the people that you're working with know. Let the people in your home know. Let your friends know, hey, I started this new thing. Hey, I have this goal to leave work at this time. I'm just letting you know, I'm going to do this before the end of the year. Excuse me. And even if you're just saying it in a conversation in passing, literally the next time they talk to you, they're going to be like, hey, you know, you mentioned that you had a goal of X, Y, and Z. How's that coming along? You know, tell as many people as you can about what you're trying to accomplish, because that just sets up more levels of accountability. 2, get a coach. Cheese, get a coach to help to teach you, to share knowledge, and of course, to hold you accountable and to keep you going. And peers to cheer you on. You know, Marianne and Simone, you guys are like kind of similar with the knee things going on. It's like, I encourage the two of you to maybe like connect outside of here and kind of share, hey, this is what's been working for me. This is what's been working for me, but connect with some peers. Michelle, same thing. Connect with peers, like other people at your job who leave work early, or who leave work late as well. It's like maybe start, you know, a accountability system or something with them to say, all right, guys, we're all leaving together. No more staying late. We're all getting out of here on time. No more of this staying 30 minutes, an hour late, 2 hours late, whatever have you. And I saw that Carlethea just joined us. Hey, Carlethea, welcome. Kim is on. Hey, Kim, welcome, welcome. All right, 4 P's. So we're winding down here. 4 P's of consistency. Let's see, Michelle says true, or talk to those who leave on time and see what they are doing. Exactly. You know, the people who are leaving on time, they've got something going on. They're doing something right. So talk to the people who have already achieve what you're looking to achieve, see what they've done, and see if you can't implement some of those things in your life. All right, the 4 P's. So first one was prioritize, figure out what it is that you're trying to be consistent with. Second one was plan, write out a plan for how you're going to get it done. Third one, people, what does your support look like? And the fourth one is perspective. So always putting things into perspective. So I kind of mentioned this at the beginning, but there is always a way to reach your desired goal. I don't care what your limitation is. We all have limitations, and there is always a way to reach your desired goal, no matter what the outcome may seem like, no matter what it's like, oh, I got this going on, I got that going on. There's always a way. I always like to use the example of, if you had a family member who wasn't well and who, you know, they had to get to the hospital 2 or 3 times a week at a certain time, and you were the only one that could take them, you would find a way to move mountains and get them there, whether if it was you taking them there, whether you were scheduling an Uber, whether you were finding some way to coordinate, but there's always a way. And sometimes it just requires us to get creative about how we can reach that desired end goal. And so I want you to kind of think a little bit to yourself, and you can write this down in your notebook, and you can even share with the group if you feel comfortable. But how might your life be different if you were more consistent? What would be different for you? Think about a typical day, you know, you doing your one big thing. So for those of you guys who have been on since the beginning, and those of you guys who just hopped in, I asked everyone who was on what's one thing they want to accomplish before the end of 2022. So if you missed that part of the live, think about that. Think about one thing that you want to accomplish before the end of 2022. And then I want you to think about how your life might be different if you were more consistent in that area. And if you feel comfortable sharing it in the chat with the group, feel free to drop it in the chat and share. But how might your life be different if you were more consistent? What would your day-to-day look like? How might that help you in other areas? How would your life be different if you were more consistent? Michelle says, more self-care and less stress due to being able to relax. Yes, I love that. And, you know, Michelle, for you, it builds self-confidence and self-worth. You know, you're more important than that job, as much as it may not seem like it. And what you do is important, but if you're not able to show up as 100% of yourself, it's like you're not able to give to your job as you would like to. So it's like you can't pour from an empty cup. So yeah, more self-care, less stress, being able to relax, being able to prioritize yourself a lot more. Danny says, I would be fit, I would be healthier and more fit. Marianne says, probably have more energy, feel better in my clothes, be more active with my grandkids. Yes, all of these are huge. How would your life be more different How would your life be different if you were more consistent? So some things to think about. And thank you, ladies, for sharing, because it definitely requires some vulnerability. So thank you so much for sharing. And the next question, taking it a little bit deeper, does your current mindset lead you closer to reaching your goal? Does your current mindset lead you closer to reaching your goal? So again, at the beginning of this presentation, I shared with you guys the reason why most people are inconsistent. And the top reason is that people don't believe it's possible. So does your current mindset lead you closer to reaching your goal? Do you believe it's possible for yourself? Are you willing to sacrifice? Does your current mindset lead you closer to reaching your goal? Danny says no. Thank you for being honest, Danny. And that's something else that we can continue to work on. You know, maybe my next live will be like how to get your mind right or something like that. But does your current mindset lead you closer to reaching your goal? Michelle says that is hard. Yes, it is. It very much is. And it's very much something that you have to work on a daily basis. And that's why there's the 30-minute rule, you know, because that kind of takes, excuse me, some of the belief out, because you're just doing it. You're spending that 30 minutes each day either figuring out how you're going to do it or actually doing it, but you're really reprogramming your brain in that 30-minute time block that you set for yourself each day. So perspective one, it's possible. It is possible. I'm a firm believer that anything is possible. You know, my friend, he was like, anything's not possible, you know, so if anything were possible, why can't you fly? And I'm like, well, people fly in airplanes. And he was like, well, no, I mean, levitate right now. And I'm like, I mean, I can't levitate off the ground, but there's always a way, right? We can't just go outside and flap our wings, but somebody created a plane and we can fly literally across the country. So it's always possible. There's always a way, even if it might not be the specific way that you're thinking. So sometimes you have to think out of the box. Two, ask yourself if it's really that important to you. You know, if it's something that you've been trying to achieve for a very long time, is it really that important to you? Or is it kind of like, meh, if I get it done, great. If I don't, then oh well. But ask yourself, is it really that important to you? Is it really something that you want to get done? And if the answer is no, that's okay. But don't spend any more time beating yourself up if the answer is no. If it's not that important to you, you can free yourself from that priority and move on to something else. But be real with yourself. Is it really that important to you? And then lastly, can you delegate anything on your list? Can you delegate anything on your list? Is there something that you're doing currently, something that you already are consistent with that you can hand off to somebody else so that frees up more of your time to do what you need to do? Can you delegate anything on your list? So sometimes we have to just shift our perspective a little bit, shift how we're seeing things a little bit in order to get the result that we're looking to get. All right, so those are the 4 P's of consistency. The first one's prioritize, figure out what it is that you would like to be consistent with. Second one is create a plan out how you're going to make it happen. Third one is people. Surround yourself with the people to support you and hold you accountable. And the fourth one is notice your perspective. Notice if you're believing that it's something that you can achieve, or if you're like, you know, not so hot on it. All right, drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat, please, if this was helpful information for you, if this gave you something new to think about, if there's something that you're walking away with. Drop a 1 in the chat if it was helpful. Yay, Michelle gives me a 1. Hooray, thanks, Michelle. I'm glad to hear so. Drop a 1 in the chat if this was helpful. Marianne says 1, yay. Danny says 1, yay. And also, guys, we're almost to the end. I did promise that we're doing a giveaway if you stay till the very, very end. So we're almost to giveaway time. Hooray. And then I'd like you to drop a 2 in the chat if you would like help staying consistent in your wellness practice. Drop a 2 in the chat if you would like help staying consistent with your wellness practice. I will DM you my link so we can talk in a little bit more detail and figure out if we can come up with a game plan to help you to stay more consistent. So drop a 2 in the chat if you would like help staying consistent with your wellness practice. 2 in the chat. Yay, Marianne dropped a 2. Awesome. Michelle says she's got a coach and counselor. Yay, good. So you can take this information back to them and create a plan. Danny says 2, yay. So I do have 2 spots open for my Back to Basics coaching program. So Danny and Mary Ann, I will share my appointment link so we can talk a little bit more about a plan for you, come up with a plan for your consistency, and I'll share a little bit more about the Back to Basics coaching program.